Good day. This is my presentation for Laboratory 1 about mini system integration. In this activity, we're going to demonstrate how two subsystems can work together through system integration. In real-world systems, dili man gud usa ra ka program ang ginagamit. Usually, multiple systems needs to communicate with each other to share data and perform tasks efficiently. So, in this presentation, I will show how subsystem A and subsystem B interact using an integration model. Before we proceed to the subsystems, it is important to understand first the concept of system integrations. System integration simply means connecting different systems so they can communicate and work together. The first is the data integration. This refers to sharing or combining data between systems. For example, kung naay enrollment system o grading system sa school, both system needs access to the same student data. Next is the presentation integration. Presentation integration where one system displays data or functions from another system without modifying the original system interface. And the last is functional integration. This is the one system directly uses the functions or services provided by another system. Next is subsystems. Subsystem A and the subsystem B. Now, first discuss nato ang subsystem A, which acts as the data provider. Subsystem A contains the student information used in the program. Includes data such as the data, student ID, name, and course. Instead of directing exposing the data, subsystem A provides a function called getStudents. Makita nato ni dito niya sa IDE. This functions allows other subsystems to request the student information when needed. So basically, mao ni siya ang source of information sa system. Any subsystem that needs student data can call this function to retrieve it. Subsystem B, or the consumer, which acts as the consumer or display subsystem. Subsystem B does not store the student information. Instead, it retrieves the data from subsystem A by calling by the getStudents functions. Once the data is retrieved, subsystem B processes it and displays the student's information directly in the console output. So, ang role ani ni subsystem B kay mukuha og data gikan sa subsystem A and then i-display siya sa user. Next is pakita na ko sa inyo ang code. Karon, so as we can see here sa project na akto duha ka files nga nag-name og subsystem A and subsystem B. These two subsystems are this one involved in the integration. First, tanaw na to sa subsystem A. Mao ni siya ang sulod sa subsystem A. Diri naka-store ang student information used in the program. It also contains a function called getStudents, which allows other subsystem to access or retrieve the student data when needed. Sa subsystem B, ato ang tanaw sa subsystem B, acts as the consumer or display subsystem. Ang iyang role kay mo-call sa function nga getStudents gikan sa subsystem A in order to retrieve the student information. So, I will going to run the program to see the output. Ganito mag-run sa subsystem B. Run. Then, the output shows the student ID, the name, and also the course. Ang data nga gi-display here actually comes from subsystem A. Gikan na siya diriya sa subsystem A. This shows that the two subsystems are communicating with each other. Muna siya ang example sa functional integration because subsystem B is using the function provided by subsystem A to retrieve the data. Back na to. Last is the reflection. The challenges. However, there are also some challenges when implementing system integration. Sometimes, it's tricky if the data in subsystem A changes. For example, if the data structure in subsystem A changes, the other system that depend on it may also need adjustments. Of course, no, mausab if naay mausab sa subsystem A, kailangan usbon pod sa subsystem B. Another challenge occurs when multiple systems attempt to call the same function simultaneously, which may require proper organization and system design to avoid errors or conflict. Thank you.